Welcome back, Wagoneers, to another exciting episode of In No Particular Order.
What?
On this episode, we are going to be discussing our top 5 favorite sports movie characters. So it can cross
That's a good one.
any sport. You know, we talk about the 4 major sports of, I guess we have 5 major sports with Patrick at the table here, with football, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer. If you can think of any other sport, we can throw that in the mix as well. Actually, when I Googled sports movies, dodgeball came up, but I don't know if I'd necessarily count that one. But well, it looks like a lot of people are still kind of working on their lists, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm sure as I start, I probably left something. I probably will leave something off, and as other people go through their lists, I'm going to say, "Oh shit, I forgot about that one." But I have 4 honorable mentions.
Jeez.
It's not 5 or 6, fellas. All right, so
he slacked off a little bit.
it's not as
It's not 2 top 5s.
and I'm sure as we keep it's one shot, but I'm sure as I go through.
If it's 6 honorable mentions, it's 2 top 5s and then some.
And then 1 honorable mention.
This isn't the Disney Pixar's, fellas. So, but it's close because there's a lot of good sports movies out there. But
2 top 5s and then all the land yap.
my first honorable mention
Top 10.
is going to be, if you've seen the movie Miracle, I'm sure Todd might have somebody from this movie in his top 5.
I actually didn't include... okay, go ahead.
I'm going to go with the character in Miracle who actually ended up not making the team. He was one of the more popular characters at the beginning of the movie. His name was Ralph Cox. He was one of the defensemen on the team. He was actually the funny, witty character, and I think they built him up in the movie because they had to have him play a prominent role because he was actually the last cut that didn't make the Olympic team. But he was the most enjoyable character in that movie for me. So honorable mention goes to Ralph Cox in Miracle. Second honorable mention from Remember the Titans. I'm going to go with, and this was based off of a true story, so I think this was an actual real person in real life. But I'm going to go with Gary.
You do realize that Ralph Cox was a real person in real life, right?
That's not what I'm talking about.
Well, Miracle is a true story, too.
I know.
So what are you saying?
I'm just talking about. I'm talking about Remember the Titans. 2 separate movies. Understand how Ralph Cox. We know that Miracle is based on a true story. It's about the Olympic hockey team from 1980.
It is? I'm kidding. I know.
But Remember the Titans, based on a true story as well.
Yes.
And sad story. This character gets paralyzed at the end of the movie. I'm gonna go with the linebacker / defensive end Gary Bertier,
Played by Ryan Hurst.
So
Who was at Comic-Con 2 years ago?
So Gary Bertier is going to get my second honorable mention. This character would be higher on my list if he played a more prominent role in the movie for my third honorable mention. And that is going to be, and the only reason why I say would be higher is because I'm a huge Matt McConaughey fan. So Angels in the Outfield, center fielder Ben Williams is going to be a third honorable mention for me. It was actually one of the movies, I read McConaughey's book. It was one of the movies that kind of jump-started his career.
I've been trying to find that on TV, but nobody streams that thing.
Disney doesn't have it? Disney Plus? Okay, because it's a Disney movie.
I have it for VHS, the white case.
What movie is it?
Angels in the Outfield. Remember?
Yes, I've been trying to find that movie.
I have it on
not on
DVD
Disney
if
Plus?
y'all have a DVD player.
That movie's got.
It's not on Disney Plus?
It's got.
Really?
It's like you can't, yes, I want to watch that.
Is it
See,
really?
I told you we
It's a
need to watch
Disney
that.
movie, though.
It might be a Disney.
It's not.
It might be a Disney, but it has another
Copyright to it.
copyright
You
from
can-
somebody else.
You can probably rent it from Amazon Prime for $3.
I think we looked. Well, I looked everywhere.
We looked,
I
don't
mean,
think-
this was a
I don't
few
even
months
think
ago
they have
now.
If y'all have
And
it.
They might have it
I
now.
even YouTubed it to see if there was bootleg on YouTube, and it pulled up something from a long time ago, like some black.
Sorry.
Well, if y'all have a DVD player or a Blu-ray player hooked up somewhere, you can definitely borrow it from me. We have it on DVD at our house. His character's name was Ben Williams. It was one of the movies that kind of jump-started Matt McConaughey's career. He wasn't one of the main characters in the movie, but he was the center fielder on the Angels. His name was Ben Williams in the movie. Last honorable mention. This one's from your non-traditional sports movie. It's actually about adult slow-pitch softball. and the movie is called Beer League, and it's actually the villain. His name is Dennis Manganelli,
Jesus.
and he's a councilman, but he plays the asshole, like dick villain in the movie. He is freaking hilarious. Like, I don't know, just from the way he pitches on the opposing team, which is the stud team in the league. But I think his antics and his asshole personality is what kind of won me over on him. So my last honorable mention is going to go to Dennis Manganelli from Beer League.
The pitching machine doesn't eat dairy.
My
Remember that one.
number 5 is going to be a little bit obscure as well. A lot of y'all might not even remember this character, or you should remember him because he was also the dick in the movie. But Mighty Ducks D2, we're going to go on the Iceland team. His name is Olaf Sanderson, and he was the villain on the Iceland team who would check all the ducks, basically be put in the penalty box frequently. Wasn't even the main character on the Iceland team because that was Gunnar Stahl, but the Olaf Sanderson again comes in at number 5 for me. I thought he was the funniest character in the movie. Added humor because he was the asshole kind of goon player on the Iceland team. Number 4. This is where it gets a little less obscure. Number 4. If you've watched the program, if you haven't watched the program, do yourself a favor and go watch it. But the big steroid head defensive lineman, Steve Latimer, it's the first time in a film I ever understood what steroids were, because they actually show him injecting him in his ass cheek during one scene. He has anger issues. He basically was a special teamer that puts on 35 pounds of muscle in an off season because he's using steroids.
Ding, motherfucking dong.
Again, another kind of humorous character in the movie, but again, he comes in at number 4 for me. Steve Latimer from the program. Number 3, Varsity Blues. The son of James Caan, Scott Caan, plays the kind of sex-crazed wide receiver named Charlie Tweeter. Charlie Tweeter comes in at number 3 for me. Again, probably the funniest character in the movie. I guess you can argue Billy Bob was pretty funny too, but
Rest in peace.
rest in peace. But Charlie Tweeter is going to come in at number 3 for me.
Good mooning, boys. Good mooning.
This number 1 and number 2 are very close, neck and neck for me. If you have not seen the movie Goon or Goon 2 Last of the Enforcers, do yourself a favor. It's another hockey movie. I'm going to go with the villain in the first movie, but then in the second movie he actually teams up with Sean William Scott, and that is he plays the other opposing goon in the first movie, and then again becomes his teammate in the second. Played by Liev Schreiber. Ross the Boss Ray comes in at number 2 for me. If you don't know who Liev Schreiber is, he played Ray Donovan. He played Sabretooth in the X-Men movies.
He was in Phantoms with Ben Affleck.
I've never seen that one. But Ross the Boss Ray
Played Sabretooth in X-Men Origins.
comes in at number 2 in my top 5. And number 1 should come as no surprise. Cleveland Indians fan, now Cleveland Guardians fan, had to pick a character from Major League. And that character is going to be none other than Pedro Serrano from Major League. I mean, so many memorable lines in the movie. He worshipped
Fuck you, Joe Boo.
worshipped a little doll named Joe Boo. Again, another comical character, power hitter on the team, has trouble hitting the curveballs.
Hit the curve.
Pedro Serrano comes in.
He was a good actor.
Oh, yeah, Dennis Haysbert. I mean, I am a huge Kiefer Sutherland fan.
He got his brains blown out in heat, huh?
I'm a huge Kiefer Sutherland fan,
I saw Heat.
and that ended up causing me to want to watch the 24 series. I actually have made it through the first 4 seasons of that, but it's a definitely invested watch because there's 24 episodes per season. I thought Kiefer Sutherland would be my favorite character on the series because of it's Kiefer Sutherland. But actually, Dennis Haysbert's kind of steals the first couple of seasons as he plays the President of the United States. A great character. But Pedro Serrano, my number 1 sports movie character of all time. Major League 1, Major League 2, Major League back to the minors. The dude is awesome.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
I guess I'll go next if y'all are good with that. And this is in no particular order. Mine's going to be real quick.
As usual.
Rick Vaughn from Major League.
Rick.
Wild Thing.
The Wild Thing. Man,
California Penal Leagues.
I thought he was.
He didn't even have no cake.
I thought he was like the coolest thing ever with the glasses and freaking pitch phenomenally.
I dressed as him
Major
at your
League, we spoke about
Cowboys
Major
and
League
Indians party.
with Travis and Rick Vaughn.
And Sean actually got his Funko Pop at this year's Comic Con
I did.
with the
The chase
The black
with the
rim
glasses
glasses
with the skull and crossbones on it.
My next one is kind of like a duo. I really can't choose. One of them's an honorable mention. One of them falls into the list. I think I really know who I like out of these two better, but it's kind of like a 2-for-1 kind of thing. And that would be Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence. And
Johnny Lawrence could easily be in my top 5. I just wasn't even really considering him.
and that's the one that I'm leaning towards only because of the Netflix
Cobra Kai.
series. And man, the way they portray Johnny Lawrence is what's not to like, right? He embodies like just an arrogant, just dumb person, but he does things for good reason.
Yeah. What I like a lot about that is, he plays the asshole in the Karate Kid movie, and then when they release Cobra Kai, the series, it's almost like you're siding with him a little bit. Like they almost
Absolutely.
kind of play. I mean, they become friends eventually,
They do.
but they almost make LaRusso the asshole,
Right.
and then make Johnny Lawrence the lovable character.
So that'll be my my next pick. Then the next one is going to be the Water Boy. Just I like that character.
Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. I thought he was funny. It was a funny movie. Just kept me laughing the whole time. The Water Boy. I like that character. Next one on the list is Rudy.
Okay.
But I watched that when I was a kid in school, and just very, very. You can admire.
You have a problem with Rudy, Patrick?
Whatever.
Deal with that later.
It doesn't,
The Spike's
it doesn't
list.
hurt me.
No, it's fine.
Just I liked the movie. I liked cheering for the guy and the shortcomings he had. And then this is my number one for sure. And y'all, I think I've mentioned it here in the podcast before. I mean, I really do like the actor. I like the movie, and it's gonna have to be Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
I think, man, there's nothing like Rocky. It pumps me up just seeing the movies and he did a phenomenal job acting, and I really do enjoy watching those movies. Just all of them, it doesn't matter. And then Creed too. That's another one. I mean, obviously different movie, different whatever, but I do like following that whole series and the spin-offs and all that stuff. But Rocky Balboa.
Don't tell me Facebook's not listening, Mike. I just scrolled on my feed and the Rudy post came up. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, they listen.
So that's mine.
I wonder what Joe Biden's top 10 is. He's listening, right?
Gear.
All right, you want me to go next?
Sure.
I'm counting because I actually have a lot on this list. Not that they're like a perfected list. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do
Top 5.
Top 5s.
I do have 2 top 5s.
Can you do it? Can you do it in numerical order, like top
This is
10?
like Travis. This is like Travis.
That's not how the game goes.
In no particular order.
Give us those honorable
Oh,
mentions.
no. Okay, so it is 10. I can't count. There's so many freaking words on my search here. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. So it's funny that y'all mentioned some of these movies, but not the exact characters. Because I'm not going to go straight up with Bobby Boucher, but I'm going to say Mr. Coach Klein.
There you go.
Yeah.
What Mama don't know, don't hurt her.
Yeah.
He pulls his pants down and has a tattoo of Roy Orbison on his ass. He has some great moments in that movie. I think he stole, Henry Winkler stole every scene he was in. This is, I guess, it's honorable mention since I'm starting somewhere on this list. But then, of course, I got to go with Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. You know, he friggin' makes that movie as well. I mean, do I really have to say much about Shooter McGavin? And then I debated on putting this one on here. Biff will be proud, but I put Jackie Moon from Semi-Pro, Will Ferrell. And it's funny, it's like, it's not necessarily him, the character. That whole movie was just a shit show of characters, you know. I liked Andre Benjamin and Coffee Black, who invented the alley-oop, and all the other commentators. And I think it's called an alley, what's his favorite oop? It's like, you know, there's just so many stupid things in that movie, but it's one me and Biff like. Well, Dylan likes it too, you know. Anyway, keep going on these honorable mentions. And had to fit in, y'all probably don't know who the hell Al Zervik is. That is Rodney Dangerfield's character from Caddyshack. Just because of all his typical Rodney Dangerfield one-liners and, you know, the goofy pants and shit like that.
That requires goofy pants and a fat ass.
Last time I saw a hat like that, you got a bowl of soup with it. Hey, but it looks good on you, though. When the guy walks in wearing that. Anyway, keep going. This is by no means, I love this movie to death, but I don't know why it's next on my list, was Coach Boone. Good old Denzel from Remember the Titans. Coach Coon, you know, and I make fun of it and stupid shit like that. But his whole scene when, you know, you think football is fun? Like, zero fun, sir, when he's like yelling at Donald Faison's face. That was a classic scene. That's all.
One time, Donald Faison was like 40 years old in high school.
True. I'm going to show y'all how much fun we're going to have. Zero fun, sir. And I'll get this one out the way. Mike mentioned Rocky, but of course I have to go with Dolph. Rocky IV, Dolph Lundgren, Ivan Drago, Mr. T, and good old Hulk Hogan, who was Thunder Lips in Rocky III, were close seconds. And I was gonna, if I have to pick Rocky characters, this is where the list gets kind of stupid because I put Joe Cooper from Basketball, freaking Trey Parker. And just because, you know, Basketball, I've seen that movie 1,000 times. It's so stupid. And then, I guess on the same...
Are we in your top 5 now?
Pretty much, yeah. The same train would be Peter LaFleur from Dodgeball. You know, Vince Vaughn's character in Dodgeball. Just because, you know...
Not Steve the Pirate?
Not Steve the Pirate. I thought about putting Ben Stiller's character, but, you know, I'll relate way more to, you know... Average Joe's Gymnasium.
You ain't not a pirate.
Tyler cracking himself up with the movie lines. And so, yeah, I guess this one kind of fast. I'm down to my top 2. And this one was tough because I like too many people in this movie, but I had to put the Kevin O'Shea from Little Giants.
Oh, man. Football's not about faces.
You said you were Coach O'Shea, and I didn't say I was Kevin. And last but not least, of course, of all the people I could pick from Major League, and Travis helped me out on that one because I would have said Serrano, so I got to go with Parkman.
There you go.
Good old Jack Parkman, only in the second movie, but you know,
That'd be number 1.
I'm like on the spot. I'm trying to think of this freaking line.
I'm
the only winner on the team. The rest of them, they're all losers. Some by choice, some by birth.
Next time get off the track when your train's coming through.
Yep.
A-seed.
Rube's a good
Sure. I'll go next. My list is stupid, but I don't even care. So.
We like Airbud. It's okay. So.
Airbud? No, it's not that stupid. No offense to Airbud fans at them. Well, I have one honorable mention. So, first of all, this is my first time participating in the top 5.
Sean Payton.
I've never done this. Yeah. So, my first honorable mention is the gopher from Caddyshack.
Caddyshack.
I love me some little Caddyshack. So, the gopher.
I thought about Bill Murray with his whole thing with the gopher. I'm going to get you today. He's like swiping the flyers.
To the gopher. So,
Yeah.
honorable mention to you. And then, I would say in no particular order, but I do have an order. So,
Of course you do.
yeah. So, my number 5 would be, I ran out of room on my Valentine's going, y'all. I gotta see where I'm at. Okay. So, my number 5 would be the Beast from The Sandlot. So
Yeah, Jamie's liking the animals there.
I wasn't far off an airbud, was I?
Definitely an animal.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You were just in the wrong sport.
He's a
So,
dog.
all right. So, I guess before I even start my list, I should say my favorite sports movie of all time is The Sandlot. So, like 3 of my
I
top
thought of that
5
movie, but I couldn't think who to pick
characters are
from, and I like too many people. In it.
Yes, I know, right? It's a great movie. So I love it because it's set in the 60s, made in the 90s. Like, you just can't get any better than that. So I just love that whole feel of the movie. So, yeah, number 5, The Beast. Number 4, Squints. Especially when he kisses the lifeguard and then the music hits.
Wendy Peppercorn.
This magic moment. Yes.
I should have had the Wendy Peppercorn Rally Cap beer. That's one of my favorite.
Oh, that would have been perfect.
Squint's got a boner.
Squints. Of course, you gotta put in there Benny the Jet Rodriguez. I used to have the biggest crush on him, and my oldest son, I think, looks just like him, which is so weird. So
Fair enough.
right? Would y'all agree? So it's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
I see it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like when he put on his brand new tennis shoes and he's ready to run.
Fun fact though is Squints when he got older he played a
Anybody else
douchebag in
not
Freaks and
in the
Geeks.
same
He like picked on the geeks.
Oh.
Y'all heard me with the Squints when he got older. He was in Freaks and Geeks and he was one of the bullies that always picked on the geeks. And it's funny, he used to play a geek in Sandlot.
So number 3. No, wait. What number?
I think it's
Probably
Should
good now.
be 2 now.
should be
2. Okay. Yeah.
On which top 5? No.
All right, so number 2 from The Sandlot, stick
my
with
goodness.
the same theme.
Wendy Peppercorn.
Hamilton Porter. You killing me, Smalls. You never had a s'mores before? S'mores what? So lots of, you
This
know.
whole top 5 is from Sandlot so far.
And then my number 1 is not from The
Oh,
Sandlot.
thank God.
Switching things up a little bit. I'm going with Cool Runnings. And I'm going with Sanka. Sanka, the guy. You dead,
Funny
man?
guy.
The funny one. The funny one. You dead?
That is a good one.
Man, you dead? And then when they crash, I'm dead. And then his eggs. Y'all remember like his little egg and like they'll crack his eggs. Yeah. That's my number.
I'm the driver.
I would have lost that bet if who was going to mention Cool Runnings and not one of y'all, Jamie. Well, Todd isn't going yet,
I
right?
wasn't thinking about that sport, but I mean, at the same point, John Candy's character would probably be somewhere in my top, if not top 5, honorable mention as well.
Yeah, I got nervous about the sports movie because, like I said, I mean, I'm surrounded by very knowledgeable sports people here, and I got nervous. I was like, wait,
I mean, I
got
could have
this.
said Rod Gimple from Hot Rod, but does Hot Rod count as a sports movie? Andy Samberg.
All right,
Travis
so
just
that's
devoured that bag.
He just nailed it. Those Sunchip
I'm
bars.
glad I brought that.
I'll go next, Patrick. Is that okay?
absolutely.
All right. I had 3 honorable mentions.
That's just like,
Travis.
sure, go ahead.
I wasn't going to include this one because it was based off a real life movie and a real life person, but I'm going to go with first honorable mention is going to be Jack O'Connell or OC from Miracle from the 1980 USA Miracle Olympic hockey team. Phenomenal movie.
You want me to do the quote again?
Go ahead.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes. Al Michaels.
I thought, Jack O'Connell, he was, very, very fantastic defenseman. Hurt his ankle, played through it. Sadly, the actor that played him, Michael Mananudo, ended up, I think, committed suicide in 2017. So that's a little tidbit of information. And I'm surprised Travis didn't have this one, but for my second honorable mention, I'm going to go with John Beebe, who played by Russell Crowe in Mystery Alaska.
Yep.
The captain
Oh,
of
shit.
the
That's an underrated one.
Mystery Eskimos.
Skank Martin. Oh my God.
Travis should have included Skank. If you have not seen that movie, it's a very, very underrated hidden gem. Mystery Alaska hockey movie about basically a town called Mystery Alaska that has its own hockey league called the Saturday Game.
Mystery.
And they end up playing in
Yeah.
they end up
They
playing
play
the New York
hockey on an
Rangers.
actual frozen lake, and it's like pick up
They
hockey.
get a story in Sports Illustrated, and they end up playing the New York Rangers in their home ice. It's a really good movie.
The character I mentioned, Skank Martin, is the same guy who's from Drop Dead Fred, who plays the friend with the earring, Mickey Fart Pants. And his character in Mystery Alaska is like the funny character who basically sleeps around with all the town women.
Well, Walrus goes flap, flap, flap.
Mama Walrus goes flap flap.
Oh God, the movie's terrible.
No,
I'm saying with
movie's great.
I'm just saying with the cursing and stuff.
Yeah.
The little kid goes, "I have a toy pony." He takes big shits all day. to the person with the microphone.
Third honorable mention, Sean already mentioned him, and I'm going to go with Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. Chris McDonald's great. I'm glad to see that they're coming out with a sequel, and of course, Chris McDonald will be playing Shooter McGavin in it. He
wasn't very busy, probably.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
Last honorable mention, this one I had in my top 5, but then, when I was reviewing the sports movies, I was like, God damn, I don't know how to put this character in my top 5 sports movies. So, he got kicked out of my top 5 at the last minute, and that's going to be Gunnar Stahl from Mighty Ducks D2, the star on the Iceland team. Really didn't have a big part in the movie until like the very end, but cool character nonetheless. Cool jerseys though. I wouldn't mind having a Team Iceland black and blue hockey jersey. Gunnar Stahl in the back. Would be pretty cool.
You'll probably get one custom made.
Probably don't have to get custom made.
I have a Jack Parkman White Sox jersey.
The Age Gate's probably got that bad boy. You don't know if it'll be screen printed or stitched, but that's right. I'm calling you out, the Age Gate. Cheap ass motherfuckers. 5.
Tony's translator, so I didn't know what you just said.
Who's really the cheap? Are you for ordering it, or?
Patrick, didn't you order some DH Gate jerseys? I hope they come in screen printed, bastard. Well, 5 in my top. Moving into my top 5 now, and I like to. Obviously, he was in Major League 1 and Major League 2 and Major League Back to the Minors. I loved his character in the first one, though. It was my favorite. It was Roger Dorn. He was the dick teammate. Not the total villain, but he was the dick on the Indians. Fucked with Rick Vaughn the whole time, and I just thought he was hilarious in that movie. I thought, what's the matter, rookie fuckwad? Can't take a joke. Second one, he was kind of bland though. Like it's added to the team late. He buys the team, then he can't afford the team, so he gets dropped down and added back to the team, and he doesn't really play.
Is it too early for a Roger Dorn?
I would like that Roger Dorn poster that he can prompt down. That'd be pretty cool. And I'm surprised nobody has mentioned this. Shane Falco from The Replacements. Travis got me a really cool caricature shirt from Charleston, South Carolina. Keanu Reeves, one of my favorite actors. Really, really great movie. Kind of a goofy football movie, not necessarily a serious one, but I would definitely say it's probably my top 5, maybe my top 10, definitely maybe my top 5 favorite sports movies. Number 3 comes from my favorite football movie of all time. Travis already mentioned Steve Latimer from the program, but I'm going to go with Joe Kane, quarterback from the program. Cool character, had an alcohol problem, ends up banging Christy Swanson.
Is that why you like him?
After all, Kane is able, Played by Craig Sheffer. Kind of fell off the planet after that and with Southern with Some Kind of Wonderful. Yeah.
He was in Silk Stock.
Wait, he was also in what the hell is that show that Jessica watched? One Tree Hill.
Oh, really?
He was the uncle in One Tree Hill. He dies in it.
You heard me say he was
killed by his brother.
You heard me say he was in Silk Stockings on USA.
Wow. Softcore porn with no nudity.
Late night TV.
Top 5 softcore
Late night
porn.
cable.
Was that when Rhonda Shear was like the host or something? Remember that, y'all?
Oh no, that was USA Up All Night, where she would play movies.
Up all night.
I know. And then Gilbert Godfrey. Remember him?
Yeah,
I remember him.
He was the principal and problem child.
Yeah.
He was something too with that.
Desk made of pencils.
USA, that's cool.
Number 2, Travis already mentioned Liev Schreiber's character from this series, but they had Goon and Goon Last were the Enforcers. My second overall favorite is going to be Xavier LaFlemme. He was the young, troubled, the young, talented player with the drug problem in the first one. In the second one, who Doug Glatt, Sean Scott ends up like kind of mentoring, becomes a better player in the first one. Becomes the team captain at the very, very end of Goon, Last Day Enforcers. If you have not seen those two movies, you definitely should, because they're awesome. I think Xavier LaFlamme is my second. Don't ask me to say who the actor is. He's like Mark Andre Grandin or something.
Isn't Sean William Scott in one of them?
He's in both of them.
Oh, he's in both? Oh, he is the Goon. Okay. I thought there was one where it's a different guy.
And number one, Mike already mentioned Rocky. Sean already mentioned this one. Ivan Drago is number one. Rocky 4 is definitely my favorite of the series. Real Dolph Lundgren is such a talented actor.
I must break you.
Not the fake Dolph Lundgren from Just Go With It. But I mean, the first time I ever saw Rocky 4, like I was kind of enamored with this character. The dude's all jacked up. He's like 6'5" and all muscle, taking juice in the movie. I must break you. If he dies, he dies. Famous one-liners.
You can see him in a Tia Carrere body double in Big Trouble in Little China. Because it totally cuts and you know it's
The
not.
Rocky was an epic series. Dolph Lundgren's Ivan Drago is my favorite character in that series. He's my favorite sports movie character of all time.
If he dies, he dies.
So being a Rocky fan, that's probably one of the best villains in the
Oh, yeah.
whole series.
If you remember when we did the movie type Villains Top 5, I think he was my second or third.
I think he was in my top 5 as well.
I think he was third. He was Johnny Ringo.
All right, I'll round out the episode with my list. I have 4 honorable mentions. I'll get to them kind of quick. Actually, I'm going to get to all of it kind of quick. First honorable mention is Adam Banks from the Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
I like the character, especially in the second one he comes over to the team.
He's my favorite on the Ducks, too.
Everyone likes Charlie, but fuck Charlie. It's not about Charlie.
Charlie's a puss. Like,
I have a feeling that Charlie got diddled by Emilio or
Bombay.
no, by the guy that ran the skate shop. What's his there's yeah. I got a feeling Hans did some things to some of the kids, allegedly. In the series, I'm just throwing it out there.
Charlie was.
He did a lot of Epsteining.
I mean, if you listen, if you listen,
That's why he was not in the second one. Okay.
On Epstein Island.
if you listen to some of the dialogue involving Hans and Emilio Estevez throughout the movie, and then Hans and Charlie, there's a little something there.
Wolf the dentist.
I'm not asking you to think. I'm asking if you want to think.
Pretty solid too.
All right, so yeah, Adam Banks is one of my honorable mentions.
Good day.
My next one will be Jonathan Mox from Varsity Blues, James
Mox.
Vanderbeek.
Okay.
Yeah. Just some of the lines and how he stood up to John Voight in the movie. His famous quote was like, "I don't want your life,"
Yep.
and his little speech he gave at halftime about the next 48 minutes and about being bullshit, things like that. That was kind of cool. So James Vanderbeek, Mox from Varsity Blues.
Gilroy.
Jesus Shuttleworth from He Got Game.
Oh, wow.
Never saw that.
Put it to your list. I'll watch that when you watch Newton. When I watch Newton Boys, you watch
It's fun.
He Got Game.
Wait, have you watched Goon?
No.
Well, you need to watch those two.
Okay, I'll add it to the list. My last honorable mention, because this movie is a classic for me when I was a kid, it's Bugs Bunny from Space Jam.
Oh.
I thought about Barkley.
Not Lola Bunny?
She's on a different list.
I actually liked Sean Bradley's Monstar. I like Bugsy's Monstar.
Yeah.
Just I could have picked any of the. I actually thought about going with Bill Murray from the movie, but
Yeah.
Bugs was in there a lot more. It had more lines for me, so I took Bugs. So number 5 for me, and I don't know how many people have seen this movie. He's not, I guess, the main character, but he is for me. It's Billy Hoyle from White Men Can't Jump.
Oh, yeah.
No, okay.
When he would shot the jump, it was pretty. Well, that was other characters. But he was like, when you win, you lose. Sometimes you lose, you win.
So
But
that's Woody Harrelson.
yeah, Woody Harrelson was. I love that movie so much. I just remember watching it. And I always loved this character because it was a classic. Hey, so who's going to take the white boy because he probably isn't good. Or he's slow and not athletic, and he comes out. He's got a good jumper.
Mm-hmm.
He can go out. He's actually good at a basketball. My number 4 will be Apollo Creed.
There you go.
all the nicknames that he had in the movie. Unfortunately, he dies in 4, but his death is the plot liftoff for the rest of the movie for what Rocky has to go through with Drago. So Apollo Creed is my number 4.
I'm surprised he's not higher on your list. Now you got a lot of love for Weathers.
Yeah, I do.
He was probably above.
My number 3 is Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights.
I can't
Just
tell you what I thought about adding John Gerard to there, but
I was gonna say being a car guy, right?
Yeah. It's a movie I watch all the
You
time.
know, like Big Rick.
Yeah, it's just a ton of one-liners, super funny, good movie.
That's kind of what I like about Jackie Moon with the basketball stuff.
Right.
It's just riffing one-liners after the next.
My number 2 is Rick Wilding Vaughn. Just it don't. What else can you say? He's a classic character. He goes back and forth with his catcher and Dorn and the manager and all like that. So Rick Wilding Vaughn's my number 2. My number 1, it's already been said. Mike has his number 1. Believe who else had it? No, you had Drago as your number 1, but mine is Rocky Balboa. Just for the work of the series from 1 through 5, although I don't really count 5. That movie sucks. But
it was terrible.
yeah. Especially 4, just all he went through in 4 to go and actually beat Drago. The stupid little speech he gave at the end to the Russians with the translator is like, if I can change and you can change, we can all change. But he got his ass kicked. He had this. The reason he got that for me is because of the montages of like when he's driving in the car, and I think it's a Lamborghini, and he's having all the flashbacks of what happened.
Oh yeah, Rocky 4 had the best soundtrack.
Yeah. So that movie is heavy on my gym playlist. But yeah. So Rocky, specifically Rocky 4, gets my number 1.
Damn, it's a
I
lot
didn't know
of.
you have to go that high.
Lot of I think I might have to change up the way we post these on social media. A lot of Rocky references, a lot of Major League references. I mean, we kind of went around, between
top 2 movies.
Yeah, but-
and Sandlot.
Sandlot had 4, characters. So it might be
We tallied the amount of characters for one movie. Jamie brought the Sandlot.
It was 4.
Three.
No, it was 4.
Let me look at my
It was
card.
the dog, Squints, Ham,
Squints.
and
Oh,
Ben.
yeah, what's 4?
4 of the 5 ones.
Sanka was the one though.
Can I add an
That's
honorable
right.
mention? The Baby Ruth from Caddyshack.
I didn't pick a character for the movie, but I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to League of Their Own.
Yeah.
Pick any of them.
I thought about Tom Hanks as well.
Tom Hanks or Dottie. Love the movie. It's a good movie. So yeah, that would have been somewhere I would have put them. But yeah, couldn't crack my top 5.
Again, the diversity from Major League, which is very cool. I mean, so we
Yeah,
had
you could-
Bartman mentioned, Serrano mentioned, Dorn mentioned, Wild Thing Vaughn mentioned. A lot of diversity from Major League.
What was the coach's name? I forget his.
Lou Brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he could have gotten a
Yeah, you
nomination.
could even
for it.
say Bob Euchre, the announcer.
I was watching Silverado today. It's an old from 1985 a western. He's in it. He's fucking hilarious.
I mean, I
The
love
movie's
the
not even meant to be funny.
I love the back and forth between Serrano and Harris. And Harris
Yeah.
rubbing the shit on him. It's like Crisco, Bardo.
Maybe you should think
Little
about taking
jalapeno.
Jesus Christ as your savior when he's sitting in front of the voodoo doll.
Jesus Christ, Serrano. There's a lot of diversity there with between those 2 movies and Jamie with the whole Sandlot roster.
I know I could probably diversify it even more. I mean, James Earl Jones.
And just
Wendy Peppercorn.
honestly, looking at some of the choices that we made, and I think I threw this out in the text about possible top 5 ideas we could do. Maybe this could springboard to maybe our next one or one of the next one, the ones that we do. Top 5 movie franchises, not specific movies, but you take the whole franchise.
Not named Rocky.
Wow.
Number 1.
The Sandlot's out for that one because the rest of those sucked.
Number 1's easy.
But the Sandlot could carry the original could carry the rest of the movies and be one. It's not the best. It's not the best. It's your favorite. It's your favorite.
Oh,
I like
So
that.
basically, all movies that have how many movies?
You need minimum 2. You had to have
Well,
at
a
least
franchise
one.
has to be what, maybe 3, a trilogy or
I mean,
more.
We can debate that and figure it out
Man, I got some good.
because
Fast and the Furious.
because my number 1 only has 2 movies, but they're both bangers. But well, yeah, it could be my number 1, but there's only 2 movies in it. I'd argue on behalf of it being allowed.
Okay.
Maybe do anything more than one, like a series.
Yeah, well, again, we can argue that out and suss it out before
franchise when it starts becoming like memorabilia, merch and stuff. Like, once you hit 2 movies, I mean, it's like there's.
Because like the Naked Gun series. The Rocky series, Lord of the Rings, plenty of it. The thing is, you can't list a specific one unless you want to maybe give like your favorite of the one.
I'm thinking of like 2 movies that are famous that only had 2, like
Top Gun.
Like okay, what about like Gremlins 1 and 2? There's no more Gremlins movies, huh?
Sure, it counts.
Is that considered a franchise?
I think it should count.
Yeah.
Or a movie series, or however you want to phrase it. Minimum 2 movies.
Gremlins is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you would separate Creed, I think, from Rocky.
Yeah.
Because they're not exactly... They're very intertwined and related, but they're technically... Yeah. Even though there's a bit of crossover in one of them, so I think you could separate the Creed from the Rocky series like that.
Was it the first one or the second one?
I think...
Sylvester Stallone was in...
I think it's in the first Creed movie.
Is it?
Or am I thinking of Rocky 5?
Rocky 5 is with Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn
in the last couple of them.
Yeah, because then you have Dolph Lundgren back in Creed for I think the second one, something like that. I don't know, that's something we can debate for another time. Where we put that in your in the back of your brain for maybe
I'm thinking of Top Gun. It's so spread apart. It was Top Gun and finally Maverick finally came out. How many decades later?
Right. And we're maybe they'll be. They're talking about a third. We'll see
if
we get it.
One better than the first.
Have y'all seen the preview? September 6th. Beetlejuice.
Yes.
The second Beetlejuice.
Most of the original.
Plus Ratatouille.
Ratatouille
is coming out.
I hope they actually go through with that, because everything I read after you posted that was that they talked about it and kind of got shut down. They're talking about it again.
I'd imagine they are, though, because they just came out with the ride just opened like last year in Epcot. So I mean,
hopefully so.
And who's playing Beetlejuice? I know
Michael
there's
Keaton.
Mike Keaton.
And my child
Most
can't.
of the original cast is doing.
Victoria can't wait to see it because Jenna Ortega, who plays Wednesday, is Lydia's daughter in this movie.
I think the only one that's not playing is the pedo.
You have the Batman movies.
Otho.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Otho's dead in real life.
You've got the
If
Thor.
the creators of Cool Runnings is listening, make a second one so I can include y'all.
But yeah, Catherine O'Hara's in it.
Thor series, the Guardians, and all of those. You got plenty of options. Major League,
the guy Jeffrey Jones, I think. Died.
Mighty Ducks, ton of options. Matrix franchise, yeah, you got options.
Matrix. Said no.
I'm not going to throw things out that I know are already going to be on the list.
Yeah,
I'm just being quiet. I'm going to say things that are going to be on the list.
Well, on that note, solid top 5. Anybody have anything to say before we sign off?
No, I just want to say thank you again.
Top Gun should not be in any of the top anybody's top 5.
All right, cut the recording so I can kick his ass real quick. Don't you dare speak blasphemous like that.
Thank you again. To join us.
Yes, thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie, for joining in.
Yes.
I really, truly enjoy debating.
Because you love to fight me.
And
this will continue later. They just keep.
You love to feel right. I'll
Will,
let you feel right.
Will might be sleeping on the couch tonight.
No, I'll let
Tom
him
Brady.
feel right. Because remember, I'm very humble.
That's true. You are a sweetheart.
I'll just talk shit in my head.
You are the little sweethearts.
There'll just be a wall of pillows put up between them and the bed.
Oh,
You go sleep on the couch with Tom Brady.
Yeah. Put your TB12 on and go see how that goes for you. Once you make love to TB12 tonight, huh?
TB's used to it. It didn't. Allegedly. It's fine.
Oh, she said TB juice. I was like, what? Oh, no.
No, TB's used to it.
Oh, okay.
So TB12 got diddle but diddy.
Oh. And on that note, Wagon's out.